used to think the worst things in families were said loudly. They aren't. They're said in passing while someone is refilling a glass. They're wrapped in a smile so thin it almost looks kind. My mother-in-law didn't raise her voice when she said it. She was sitting on the edge of the couch, Madison beside her, everyone half watching my daughter open her birthday gifts when the MacBook came out. Silver, careful, saved for over months. There was a ripple of admiration around the room. Then she said, "Oh, that's perfect. Madison's laptop is ancient. Give it to your cousin. Family shares." My daughter laughed, uncertain. She thought it was a joke. It wasn't. "If you don't share," she added, still smiling, "you can't call me grandma anymore." Was so casually cruel that for a second I couldn't process it. No shouting, no dramatic scene, just a condition placed on love like a price tag. I looked at my husband, he looked at his mother, and in that quiet pause, something old and familiar settled over the room, the expectation that we would smooth it over. Our daughter didn't argue. She just nodded quickly, blinking too fast, and excused herself. She went upstairs. Conversation resumed. Someone mentioned cake. Waited for my husband to say something. He didn't, not yet. His jaw was tight, but he stayed seated. I've watched that dynamic for years. His mother asserts, the room accommodates. The moment passes, but it didn't pass this time. Went upstairs. He was gone longer than it should take to comfort a 9-year-old. When he came back down, he wasn't pale or furious. He was steady in a way I hadn't seen before. "She's trying to wrap it," he said quietly to me. "What?" "She found wrapping paper. She's taping it. She thinks if she gives it nicely, Grandma won't stop loving her." Something in my chest went cold. Not anger, clarity. Years flickered back. Holiday gifts that somehow ended up redirected. College funds discussed like communal assets. Decisions nudged until they weren't ours anymore. Always framed as togetherness. Always with a smile. Love leveraged. My husband stood. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't address the whole room. He spoke directly to his mother. "The laptop belongs to our daughter." A small laugh from her. "Oh, don't be dramatic. I was teaching her to share." He didn't smile back. "You told her she couldn't call you grandma if she didn't give it away." Her expression shifted. Not embarrassed. Irritated. "Children need to learn generosity." "She does," he said. "But generosity isn't coerced, and love isn't conditional." The room had gone very quiet. Forks paused. Madison stared at her shoes. His mother straightened, offended now. "You're overreacting." He didn't argue the word. He didn't debate. "We're leaving." That was the moment. Not explosive, not theatrical, just final. We went upstairs together. Our daughter was sitting cross-legged on the floor, the laptop half covered in crooked paper, tape stuck to her sleeve. She looked up like she'd been caught doing something wrong. "You don't have to give it to anyone," my husband said. She hesitated. "But Grandma said." "Grandmas don't trade love for things," I told her. "And if someone does, that's not something you fix by giving up what's yours." She studied our faces, trying to measure whether this was safe to believe. We peeled the tape off together. Downstairs, no one stopped us when we left. His mother didn't apologize. She didn't escalate either. She sat very still, lips pressed thin. In the car, our daughter asked the question I knew was coming. "Is she not my grandma anymore?" I chose my words carefully. "She's still your grandma," I said. "But being a grandma means acting like one. That part is her responsibility." My husband drove in silence, but his hand found mine across the console. 2 days later, a message came. It wasn't an apology, was a reframing. She said she'd been misunderstood, that we were raising our daughter to be selfish. Families who keep score don't last. We didn't answer right away. That was new too. We talked instead about patterns, what we would and wouldn't allow, about how easily children internalize threats when adults disguise them as lessons. The boundary wasn't loud. It didn't involve ultimatums. We told her eventually that our daughter's belongings were not communal property, that love could not be withdrawn as discipline. Visits would pause if that language continued. She hasn't repeated it. She also hasn't acknowledged it. The power in the room feels different now. Not gone from her, but not unquestioned. Our daughter still takes her laptop to school, careful with it. She doesn't mention that day, but she doesn't flinch when her grandmother calls either. When she says grandma, it sounds like a choice, not a negotiation. We didn't win anything grand. We just refused to let love become a bargaining chip. Sometimes that's the whole victory.